Yeah, it's top of the AM. You know the vibes. Um, it's Tuesday. Shout out to Brian Custer and The Last Stand, right? It's time to give you a real reaction video. Shout out to my guy Scotty White, man. Brian Custer is an award-winning journalist. Something that all of us that do media work should aspire to become, especially us that's on the YTC circuit, blogging and stuff. He is up there, the creme de la creme, right? And I think it was just an awesome job that he did yesterday when he interviewed Jamel Charlo. Because here it is, he was interviewing a man, right, who emotionally during the interview was everywhere. I seen a couple of other channels, you know, highlight that, but see, most of the channels, I don't know if you're not allowed to or you can't speak on it, but you didn't really want to highlight that, right? Great interview though, because he tore up, so to say. But emotionally, he was everywhere. Um, see, and I speak on this a lot, and I spoke on this a lot, and people get upset when I speak on it, I guess because they look at me as like, who are you? You're not educated. You're not this. You're not that. There's different levels of education. Yes, maybe I don't have a Harvard degree. I do know how to conduct myself professionally. I do know how to speak to people professionally. And my catalog shows that as far as if you want to acknowledge it or not. But yesterday, what we seen was, and you can't take nothing away from him. The man is a uh, unified champion. He had his hardware on display, excellent trophy room. But like, just you guys invest millions and millions of dollars into these guys. These guys are the product. And I hate to use that word like that, but they are. They are the flagships of your company. They have to talk, and that was a big show yesterday. When they had to talk to the media, and this is, this is not a real slap at you guys, but this is what it needs to be. Instead of you guys investing your money into people to push narratives for you, why don't you invest that same money and get some of these fighters real PR specialists? The man said it himself. He hasn't done an interview in 15 to 18 months. As a world champion, that is pathetic. You are a public figure. You are a world champion. See, I'm going to speak on this because, like I said, as a blogger, right now I'm on my blog game. I am Shaw News, the Boxing Underground Media Personality King. So I'm going to speak on this, right? But I can also speak on it from the other side as far as working with fighters and showing them how to conduct interviews and talk in front of cameras and thinking before they actually let the words out of their mouth. It's okay to take a second to gather your thoughts. The PR department over there is failing these fighters. This was just the latest addition to that being shown. Some of the fighters over there have improved. We don't need to say no names. They know who they are. They have improved in their media relations, talking to the public, dealing with interviews. But others, you hide them, and when you hide them and you don't help them, what happened yesterday happens. Here you have a man on the verge of being an undisputed champion. He's talking to a award-winning journalist. Now I can speak on this because I have done many, many interviews, and I know when an interview is awkward from doing them. Brian Custer's energy, his face throughout that whole interview was, is he not contemplating what I asked him? He's everywhere. He's everywhere. And me watching that interview, it only just made me think of Menace to Society when they interviewed Kane after he got caught trying to steal the car, and his prints was found on the 40-ounce bottle in the bodega or the grocery store where the clerk got killed. And Bill Duke said, "You know, you done fucked up, right?" That was what I was watching the interview. Charlo just rambling on. You know, you done fucked up, right? Very entertaining though. Like as a underground journalist that I called myself, I was very entertained by it. Very entertained by it. And it was good to see him finally open up like that. It was great to see him open up like that. Me personally, I think he didn't have Oscar Valdez's tea, but he had some type of tea to, you know, open him up a little bit and keep him calm. Because Jamel, I know, right? Yes, the Jamel I know, like I said, after I'm done with this, I'll post some videos of me being around him and stuff like that. So I said the Jamel I know, right? The Jamel I know, when Brian Custer said that he got rocked, that's when I knew Jamel was. They gave him the go-go, you know, the common fluids. When Brian Custer said that he got rocked, right? The Jamel I knew that would have triggered him. You know, certain words, certain things that trigger fighters. Yes, I can speak on that because I triggered Jamel before. Yes, I am the local loudmouth from the Gleason's gym who triggered him at Gleason's gym. So I know how to trigger certain people, so to say. So when Brian Custer said that, that was something that would have triggered him. But he had the good go-go juice, the common fluids. So he was able to stay calm. But his answer to it, he turned into the Wizard of Oz, the lion. His claws, his paws, a scratch. And man, if that wasn't hilarious. But you know, like I said, you have all these guys, they want to highlight him calling out Crawford. Yes, he called out Crawford. He talked about Crawford. He talked down on Crawford. But highlight how he danced around his brother fighting David Benavidez and pretty much tried to make it seem like David Benavidez is too big for the weight class, but yet he makes the weight class. So how's he too big for the weight class? You know, we got to make it make sense, right? Highlight the fact that uh, he wants to fight guys that he already beat already. You know, he's talking about little guys, right? And Crawford. But when he talked about Danny Garcia wasn't a little guy, right? Come on, you got to make it make sense, my guy. And I like you, Jamel. I like you. You know why I like you? Because you're passionate. That's one thing that we can't take from you. If you actually watch that interview, he's a very passionate, emotional guy. You know, he's just all over. He reminds me of a couple of guys that I went to school with. You know, they was in the special class. Not saying he's special, because I don't want y'all to take this the wrong way. But and I grew up with a lot of people like that. They have a lot of energy. They are, like they said, that's what society deems them as special. You know, but he's a great, passionate person. You see it comes off in his interviews. That's why I guess he was all over. But maybe if he conducts more interviews and he is, worked with over there, like I said, that is $1 million business, $1 million corporation. The least you could do is invest in PR work with your fighters, because you have these fighters that are public figures. Oh man, what do you know? I know a lot, but I just move how I move. These guys are public figures. They represent brands, they represent their self, they represent their fans. So when the cameras are in front of them, they need to know how to articulate themselves. They need to know how to conduct the interview. Like, it was nothing wrong with the interview, but it was just like the questions that he asked, they didn't require 30-minute rants. You know, he was everywhere with it. You know, he asked him a question about something, he'll answer that, and then he's all over. He's what we would call, because I do road work. He's what you would call an erratic driver. He was all over the road. Demetrius Andrade. The question wasn't even about Demetrius. He's on. He needs to get his business together. It's this guy. He. Brian Custer. Salute to you, man. I want to interview you. I want to talk to you about that interview, and ask you questions as another journalist. Like, how did you keep your composure? I know you took the camera off of you when you did have your laughs and your smiles and got it out, but how? Like, see, me personally, I haven't mastered that yet. I haven't mastered that side of the game yet. Like, if I was in your shoes, I would have been laughing, because I laugh. It's just a human emotion in me. Like, if I ask somebody something, and I reference my kids, right? I use my kids. Like, if I ask Coach Reen something and she gives me a crazy answer, I'll laugh. We'll have a laugh together. I would have laughed at some of the stuff that uh, Jamel was saying, especially when he went on about his claws and his paws and a scratch. Like, bro, oh my God. It was classic though, man. Classic. And I wish more media, more bloggers would, speak on the real, man. Like, I seen already dudes chopping it up, but they're not like highlight. Dude was emotionally everywhere. Great, 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 great though, man, because he finally talked. And see, part of the problem is he spoke on it. That's the first interview he's done in 18 to 15 months. That's not good. And then he needs to get that out of his head, right? That people take his words the wrong way and that the media is against him. No, you have to learn. That's why I said these guys have the wrong people around them. That's why those shirts are going into production. Fire them all. Yes, fire them all. There's too many yes men. There's too many puppets. There's too many people around. A lot of these influential fighters that serve no purpose other than just being around to look good for social media, for Instagram. And then the ones that they do, like I said, hire or try to have work for these companies, these agenda agents, they drop the ball big time, because they try to depict these fighters who, you know, to say the least, they out there, man. But they try to depict them as gods. And then you have fans who are so low on the totem pole, they just go with the narratives that they are presented. And when you push fighters and different characters as gods, and then they have a brain fart conducting an interview, it doesn't look godly. Hopefully, y'all are catching the sauce this morning. I have to give you the real raw breakdown reaction video, man. And I said I was going to do it in the morning. I spoke on a little bit on the podcast yesterday, but I was like, I'm going to wait till the morning to really do my reaction video. And this is just it right here, a little morning reaction sauce. Like I said, it's Tuesday. I can't wait till that fight though. That fight, I think it's May 14th. You know, and I can't wait to hear from. I got to reach out to some of my people, Terrence Crawford's people, to get a reaction from Bud, man, because he was all over Bud. He was all over. He needs to fight EJ and this, that, and the third. Like, listen, the man can do whatever he wants to do. He called you out too. Don't defer. That's what we call deferring. You know, neither one of y'all want to fight him. You talking about you knock him out. We need to worry about take care of EJ. But you was quick to talk about Danny Garcia. Why? Because Danny Garcia is over there with you, and that's a more suitable fight for you. Come on, we gotta make this make sense. You know, we gotta make this make sense, man. And if I was you, to be honest with you too, I'll probably go more in depth on this a little later. You got young guys coming up over there. You were speaking about the Boots Ennises and guys in the welterweight division, Virgil Ortiz. You better worry about Charles Caldwell. Bad news out of Cleveland. You got young guys over there looking at you, and I most certainly know after them watching that interview, they like, yeah, I could take this cat because you talking about scratching. You talking about scratching. Yeah, you said you just, yeah, when I scratch. You a liar, man. You better maul something like your name, Mel. You're Mel though, but you better maul something like your brother Jamal. You know, maul something. Lions maul. They rip things apart. They don't scratch. Cats scratch. Kittens. My cat Sheba, she scratches. Real. A lion tears stuff apart, man. Hopefully you catching the sauce. And I know this is going to get back to them because see, I am in my own zone. One thing about the source words are always heard. Don't let the views and all of that confuse you. The source is heard. Yeah, so that's just my source on that this morning. Like I said, great interview though, man. A funny, entertaining, awkward interview, but always entertaining. A1 job from a A1 award-winning journalist and Brian Costa. Man, I can't wait to catch him. I'll probably see him soon. Even if it's off the record, I'm going to definitely try to pick his brain about that, man. And see, these are the type of things that I do. Like when I see people who I respect their craft and respect what they do, I love to ask them questions because you can always get good insight from guys who are bigger in the game than you. See, a lot of y'all, most of y'all, all y'all don't understand that or respect that. And the ones that do and they feel people are bigger and better than them, they're jealous of. One thing about me, I've never been jealous of nobody that is higher up in the game than me. If anything, that always inspired me. I had the Kobe Bryant mentality. That's why you see me on here right now. I didn't even hit the clock yet, but I'm on doing a video because I'm working while I'm at work. So I'm gonna go more in depth on that tonight at 5 p.m. because my guy Cruz brought up a great point when it comes to the media game. Like media game nowadays is not about your work. If you have a budget of fun behind you, um, that's all you really need. You just need that push. Because to be honest with you, as I got more equipment, microphones, headsets, shit like that, I'm speaking from my personal standpoint. The work that I was getting off of my phone, as far as real journalist field work, interviews, surpass what I'm doing now. But now I get more recognition because I spiced it up: microphones, headphones, 4K cameras. But see, that's what we need to change in the game because The work is what should speak for yourself, not having a job, well, I like to call it trickery, the sorcery, having a drop, intro and all that set to catch people's eyes. No, actual interviews, actual field work should be what the game is about, not the gimmicks. See, we need to get back to the actual work. And I'm going to speak on that like tonight at 5. Later for all the trickery and, like I just said, nowadays it's all about if I rent a spot out and I get a green room and I have a production team, guys in there holding lights and doing this, that, and the third, people will be like, "Oh, he got something big going on." Meanwhile, I'm not talking about nothing. There's no substance with my content, but yet the look, it's the look. No, it needs to be about the substance, the content, the work. Hopefully, y'all are catching this sauce. We're gonna at 5 p.m. I'm gonna go more in depth on that, man, because I think that needs to be highlighted. That definitely needs to be highlighted. Too many channels, too many guys want to run with that narrative that it's about money, it's about having a budget behind you. Meanwhile, some of these guys that have some of the biggest budgets behind them can't conduct an interview, can't get nothing out of a fighter, a coach, nothing. You know why? Because they think it's all about having a push button, not really the questions, not really the reactions, not really the substance. And hopefully y'all caught this sauce. Salute to my guy Scotty White, one of the best hitters in the game. Jihad, dope interview. I'll be dropping tomorrow. Next week is fight week. Be ready, man. 7-0. About to put on another show, Hula Theater, MSG. Salute to everybody else on that card. Edgar Belenka, Shushu Carrington, the Davis brothers, Calvin and Keyshawn. I ain't forgetting nobody, man. You all for us in the morning, Harry. But yeah, everybody be good, be great. Always keep God first. And remember, never put a restriction or a limitation on what you can do and can't do. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you can't do it. But if you tell yourself you can do it, you pray on it and you pursue it, you will do it. Hopefully y'all caught that sauce, man. Everybody be great, man. Keep God first. And yes, the sauce still got them hands.